Oh, holy cow, what is that? Well, it looks like gas is going back up again. I guess it goes up and down all the time, but $3.45 a gallon, it can get pretty expensive when you're driving to fishing holes, trying to drive all over the place. I've been going a lot of places here recently, an hour or more away, but I'm changing that up today and going very basic and actually very close. Actually about a 500 yards from where I'm standing. Well, the sun is high and bright and hot, and I'm gonna go explore a section of creek I never fished before, if I can get to it. I'm taking this and this 6-foot Lews ultralight rod. We got 4-pound mono and a couple different lures in there. And I don't even know if we can get to the creek through here, but something I'm seeing while I'm walking through the grass is a good sign to use the lure I'm planning on using. Oh yeah, I'm sure you saw it. Where'd it go? It's grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are out all over the place. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, here's the creek. Ooh, oh, it's different than I thought it was gonna be. Might be a little harder to fish. It's a mud bottom to it. I thought it was gonna be like gravel, but it's kind of clear. And I got a little crick hopper we're gonna start out with. And this time of the year, usually these fish are just ready to hammer anything, any kind of bug or anything that falls in the water. Oh, here we go. This ought to be something. Come on. Oh, I got pecked right away. Oh, come on. Look at him pop at it. There's little fish in here. I fished downstream from here and caught a lot of fish, and I fished upstream just a little bit. There's a small section that it's not real deep, but I've caught a couple fish out of it. And I was wondering if I could find this little section in the middle, maybe that has some deep holes, and this actually does have some. These are decent little deep holes. There's a lot of little fish in there. A lot of bugs in here too. I'm getting pecked like crazy. Tons of little fish. Come on, there's like a bunch of tiny sunfish pecking at it. Oh, there's a fish. Number one. And it is a bluegill. I thought it was a redbreast the way it was looking in the sun. Oh, that's a nice size fish. So we got a bluegill. Pretty little guy. Oh, that looks like a nice little section right there. Come on, what else is in there? Oh, wow, I got a tiny little fish. A tiny bluegill. Man, I've seen a bunch about that size hitting at it. Probably had 10 hits already from the little ones like that. Somehow he got hooked. Oh, there's something behind it. Come on. Oh, there he is. 3 out of here. I'm hitting them. That's green sunfish. Caught all 3 of these while I was cranking it. So I've cast, and if I leave it, and I can pop it and they'll hit it, but I think they get hooked better. I get more chance of them getting hooked if I just like kind of crank it slowly. That way when they swipe at it, the little hooks get them. I think we're just gonna try to walk upstream. I think I can walk upstream and to a road and then kind of walk back that road. Oh, yeah, I saw him come eat it. I saw him come, but I just paused it and he grabbed it. Another bluegill. Little bluegill. off me. Man, mosquitoes are thick in here. I feel like I'm already gotten bit a million times and they're just buzzing my ears. I hate the sound of those things. I think after rain sometimes, especially like we've had like several thunderstorms in a row where this stream was probably 2-3 feet higher, which I think that sometimes when that happens, some of the fish leave and they wash downstream to find a deeper hole, especially if they're kind of, they're that big fish for the hole that they're in. And I can't prove this, and I haven't done studies on it, but I just have a feel. Oh, there's a hit. Oh, I missed him. Come on. I just feel like that's what happens, because I fish a lot of these streams and I'll go and there'll be some nice fish in there and these holes way up in the stream, and then at one day I'll go there and there'll be nothing but little ones. But those little ones grow, they eat a lot. There's so much food that comes through here. They probably grow pretty fast. And if there's not a big flood or anything to kind of give them a way to get out of that hole, they're just gonna stay there, eat and eat and eat. Then that's when you catch them. But if there's had a lot of water up, then they could easily get out of there. Oh, I got crushed. What is it? There's our first red breast. He is tiny, but these things, they don't stay tiny. They grow because they're so aggressive. Look at that. Probably not gonna be able to get a good view of him because I can't hold him so little. But he came out and just hammered it. All right, there should be something in this hole. Got it. Green sunfish. Wow, see? Look at the belly. Look how fat that thing is. For that tiny fish, how thick he is. Like, that's why these things, I feel like there could have been a lot bigger ones in here, like, say, a week ago, and they've been flushed out. And these little guys, oh, boom, we got hit again. They're eating, because they eat anything they can eat. Anything and everything, because when it gets cold, these fish just shut down, and you can walk this in the wintertime and you won't even think there's a fish in here. Except for chubs. Not chubs. Well, that is a chub. Except for shiners. And I think chubs too. Chubs kind of stay active. I think that shiners definitely stay active. Shiners will stay active all year. Surprised I haven't caught one of those yet. But chubs can handle pretty cold water too. And we got ourselves a creek chub. All right, well, this is the stretch that I have fished. So I've been fishing for, let's see, 25 minutes. And kind of a, good amount of little fish. I thought it was gonna be a little different. And I'm gonna fish this hole right here where I have fished here a couple times, and it's another area that changes a lot. And if you go upstream, I think from here probably 100 yards, it turns into like a little bit of nothing. So like this is the very, very head of the creek. And these are kind of little areas I like to explore because everything in there is aggressive and fun. And usually there's a lot of little fish and a lot of diversity. Like got a bite. We've already caught, let's see here, green sunfish, red breast, bluegill, chub, 4 species. And I mean, there's got to be more. What was that? Another chub. Thought it was gonna be a shiner. It's a decent sized little chub there. I got like 5 pairs of the forceps, or whatever they're called. And whenever I was today, I was like, you know what? I have no idea where any of those are. I'm sure I got them sitting places where I won't forget, but then whenever I need them, I don't know where they're at. What I think we're gonna do, since we've only been fishing for like 30 minutes, I want to try and catch something a little bit bigger to test out this new rod. Oh yeah, the cast is nice over there. But I'm not getting the bites. Oh, there's one. Oh yeah, that felt good. Nice bluegill. Dude, this rod is a pretty fast action. Look at that bend. It's at the very top. When I felt this bite, I set the hook and I felt like it was, you know, I had some power to get into it. So it's a nice bluegill. I'm throwing, I got 4-pound mono and a 1 32 ounce lure, and it's throwing it pretty good. Well, you can say I'd made it full circle, sort of. I kind of stopped and I drove around, and there's like several branches that, you know, feed in. Also, I'm switching back to the crick hopper, and this is the yellow one. We'll let this truck go by first. I already see some fish swimming around. This hole right here does get decently deep for some reason, and it usually holds some fish. Oh, there was a hit. Oh, and he came back. Oh, dude, what is that? That's a nice little fish. Oh, it came off. That was a good fish. It kind of barely popped it. Like, that's this little hole. For some reason, the sunfish get big in here whenever I can catch them. And I guess it's just because it's a little bit deep. But also, oh, dude, there was something really good size. Oh, it's a bass. It's a bass. Come on, come on. Right there, right there. He's right on it. Come on, eat it. Dude, he's a decent little bass. This little hole, there's a few bass in there. Dude, I just saw another one come up to the surface. Holy cow, did you see that? That was a hit. I think that was another bass. I've got my lure snag down here. Let's go down to a 1/64 ounce trout magnet jig head. And this is the itty bit slab hunter. Alright, I can throw it throws that little lure pretty good. It's about like a trout magnet size, or the trout magnet jig head with about the size of a trout magnet lure. Don't make me walk that creek. I might have to get in there and walk it. I bet you there's some nice sunfish down there. Well, let's go back over to the other side of these bass where. Oh yeah. I just saw my lure disappear. It's a little orange lure and I'm just watching it. Yep. That's one of them. Dude, these are healthy. So these, I was talking earlier about how fish wash downstream. I think the way this little pool is set up, these fish kind of, they don't wash downstream as much, like, because it's kind of deep and there's a lot of reason to stay. Plus maybe the way I'm pretty sure it's beaver dammed up, and a lot of times that might make it a little harder for them to get out, but also gives them more water to stay in. Oh yeah, I just let it sink to the bottom. What is that? Oh, nice. Pretty bluegill. Real dark. Oh, holy cow, what is that? Holy cow, it's a warmouth. As he was fighting, I was throwing it up under the bridge. That's the kind of fish we come for. That's a good creek fish. That's fun right there. Solid warmouth. Oh, there's one. Where is it? Oh, bluegill. I bet you there's just dozens and dozens of fish in there on that pool from the bridge from here over to that other side. I mean, we definitely saw 3 more largemouth that I didn't get, caught. That's just what we saw. Oh, ooh, yeah, feels good. Oh, he's not as big as I thought, but he was fighting hard. Bluegill, another bluegill. Let's see if we can get in here. It's muddy on the bank, that's for sure, but I think the bottom. Ooh, yeah, we can walk to the middle. Dude, it's already up to my knees. There's no telling what's in here. I thought even looking over in it, sometimes you just you look over there and you're like, you guess. It's 8 inches deep, and it's usually twice that or more. Oh, there's a fish. Yeah, I made several casts over there. Couldn't get a bite. Walk a little ways, and I get a nice red ear. That's interesting because I caught one of the biggest red ear I've ever caught out of this creek. I don't know why. It was just downstream from here. And that was at a different time, and the beavers had backed it up a different way. So look at that red ear. Very bright red ear on it. I don't know if, oh man, I'm sinking. I don't know if I can keep going. It's gonna be over 2 feet deep. And muddy, so I don't know if I'll be sinking in. I don't know, it feels kind of weird. Really squishy. Like one step I might sink up to my waist or something. If I could get down there, I want to explore that area some more. Oh, my shoes are starting to sink. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose one here in a minute. Sometimes it's just hard to get to the right spots. Well, we caught fish and I don't want to lose anything, especially my shoes. Let's try to turn around, fish under that bridge a little bit more, and I'm getting a little hungry. But I'll give a final review on this rod when I'm done here. Oh, that's not a fish. It might be the end of it there. All right, let's take a look at this backbone of this, how it bends. So I don't know how well you can see it. Hopefully we can see it. And then there's the front. See, that's a pretty good bend. Put a lot of effort into it, and still, it still bends way up here on the top. Like it's making almost a 90 up here. I put a lot of effort into it, and then the whole thing starts bending. But it really has a lot of power at the top there, really fast. And that's just something I like when it's just fun to fish with a rod like that for when you're finesse fishing or feeling for little bites. And it also casts the 1/64 ounce, like you want to throw a trout magnet. This thing just casts it very well. I think this thing will hold a 1/16 ounce really well too. Like feel like it won't feel heavy at all. So you can probably throw a lot of sizes on this. This is a 6-foot ultralight. It says action fast. It says it's 2 to 6 pound rated and 1/32 ounce to 3/16. That's a normal sizing, but they never put a 1/64 ounce on there unless they go really small, but this, you can throw a 1/64 ounce, no problem with this. Like you're gonna cast it as far as you want to cast it. I like the 6 foot size. I feel like that's always a good size for ultralight stuff, or especially like today I was in a lot of brush. I didn't have a lot of room to cast. Sometimes I'm turning it sideways or making little flips. This thing is firm enough to flip that lure. 1/32 ounce, I'd say that felt really good when I was doing that. The little crick hopper, little lures, I guess little crankbaits I might try on this thing. But now this is a nicer rod as far as like an ultralight, but it feels like it. This handle feels really good. It's very comfortable, and it helps, like it seats in that well, and it makes the rod feel really sensitive. I had a Sahara 1000 size reel. I can't remember what this was. It's some kind of mono. It's a 4-pound mono, but it's like a decent mono. And I've kind of been going back and forth braid, which I might use braid on my next video, or I might change this out and put a reel with braid on it next time I use it. But the 4-pound is just a great line, whether you use mono or fluorocarbon for this kind of stuff. It just works really good.